laws of thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is a branch of physics which deals with the energy and work of a system. There are 4 laws of thermodynamics: the Zeroth Law, the first law, the second law, and the third law. We will mainly be going over the zeroth and first law in this video. The second law has already been covered in another video titled Entropy. The third law is a bit complicated and we won't be covering this one in this video. Thermodynamics only shows the large-scale response of systems, so it's macroscopic rather than microscopic. Macroscopic means that it can be observed with the naked eye, and microscopic means that you can't. History. Thermodynamics was first discovered and created when scientists were researching and discovering how to build and utilize steam engines in the early 1800s. Scientists wanted to increase the efficiency of steam engines, and they found that some things couldn't simply be explained with the rules and theories they already had, so they created thermodynamics. Let's start with the Zeroth Law of thermodynamics. According to NASA, the zeroth law of the thermodynamics is an observation. When two objects are separately in thermodynamic equilibrium with a third object, they are in equilibrium with each other. It can be demonstrated with this model. Say there are three systems. There are 3 systems. One of them is M1, another one is called M2, and the third one is called M3. The temperature of M1 is X degrees. If we get a conductor between M1 and M2, the heat transfer will happen, so M1 and M2 will be the same temperature, X degrees. Now, if we get M2 and M3 and get a physical conductor to connect those two, then M3 will also be X degrees. This means that M1 and M3 are both X degrees, and so they are in thermodynamic equilibrium. Also note that after all of them become the same temperature, the energy transfer stops happening, so they remain at X degrees. This is similar to how a thermometer works, an internal thermometer. The first law of thermodynamics, energy conservation. The first law of thermodynamics states that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but it can be converted into different forms, like how mechanical energy can be converted into kinetic energy or thermal energy. For example, there is the sun. The sun's energy, some of it is transferred into grass or plants that we then eat and then convert into ATP, which we can use for motion. The second law of thermodynamics, entropy. We actually covered this in another video, so I won't be going over it in very much detail. Essentially, it's saying entropy is the randomness and disorder in a system that can stay the same and increase but cannot decrease. If we see on the left, low entropy, in low entropy, everything is in order and very organized. With high entropy, there's disorder.